There we go. Well, good evening everyone and welcome to the March Planning Committee of Sandwich Town Council. Item 1, apologies for absence received.
No full apology for absence, but Councillor Carter has said that he will be running late.
Okay, thank you. Item 2, declarations of interest. To receive any declarations of disclosable pecuniary interest from members in respect of business to be transacted on this agenda. Item 3, minutes of the Planning Committee. To approve the minutes of the Planning Committee held on Monday the 10th of February 2025 and to consider any matters arising from those minutes not covered elsewhere in this agenda. Attachment 1. Any comments?
Happy to propose.
Yeah. I second it then. All in favour that we have the minutes? Thank you.
Before you move on, I just wanted to say at the last meeting, Councillor Trooper asked about possible consultation to do with Section 106 money when we were looking at that. Just to say that I have emailed DDC to ask for a timeline on their consultation and to put ourselves forward to say that we're very keen to take part. So they have said that they're updating their IDP, which is the their IDP plan. Now I can't see what that acronym means, sorry. But that they will involve us in the consultation. So I'll update you once I know.
Okay. Item 4, public participation. A 20-minute session is set aside for members of the public to make representations at the meeting in respect of the business on the agenda. Individual representation should not exceed 5 minutes. Written notice of the desire to exercise the right to speak, together with the topic to be addressed, must be given to the town clerk at least 4 hours in advance of the meeting.
No requests.
Okay. Item 5. Planning applications. Application plans and papers can be viewed via the Dover District Council website. A. Planning application reference 25/00107. Proposal. Erection of a single storey side extension and insertion of side window. Existing side extension to be demolished. Location 7 Stone Cross Lee, Sandwich, CT 13 0BZ.
That seemed like a fairly modest extension, which is in keeping with the building. I've no objection to it.
So, yeah, I'd like to propose that we accept it. It's not contentious.
All in favour that we accept it?
Seconded by Councillor Mallet.
Thank you.
Yeah. The planning application reference 25/00154. Proposal. Re-roof part of rear roof slope, repoint rear chimney stack, insert 2 number rear roof vents, rear elevation, replace render to part elevation, insert 2 number first floor fan intake grills, north rear elevation, replace render to part elevation, replace 6 number and replace rainwater goods deck external envelope. Location St Bart's House, 17 Dover Road, Sandwich, CT 13 0BS. Nothing's just repairing, nothing. Okay.
If I could speak on this one. Repairing buildings is an expensive operation, as we all know, especially where property is listed. Owners need to be encouraged to carry out works and not overburdened with bureaucracy. Paperwork associated with this application is quite staggering, really. All the work has been done under the supervision of the Heritage Officer. But now it appears to be necessary for the application to run to 22 documents, including a 14-page structural report, a 20-page design and access statement, a 23-page defect report, and a 6-page heritage statement. So I'm wondering if the system is overburdensome, and I'm wondering what is achieved by the compilation of multiple reports after the work's been carried out. What really matters is that the authorities, conservation officers, have overseen the work. And to my mind, they should have authority to sign it off.
I think what it is because it's all different parts of the building, isn't it? Because it's a listed building. So you've got one part of the roof, one part of the chimneys, one part of the window.
Yeah, but these reports have been prepared subsequent to the work being carried out.
Yeah.
One of the reports is even dated later this week. So there's a lot of work being done simply to get this application through.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I can add to that, my partner has just had almost the same chimney stack. It was presenting a danger to the public. The builder said, identify, as soon as it's identified as a danger, you have to do something, otherwise you're liable. And it was £3,000 worth of admin, just as you've described, heritage officer, planning officer. She had to put in a planning application, and the chimney stack goes back exactly as it was before. It's a nonsense.
I took a slightly different perspective on it. I thought it was an excellent set of papers to support a request. We've had other applications where there's a dearth of information. I thought it was brilliantly presented, and I don't know how much it was driven by bureaucracy or intention on the applicant to provide anything and everything in terms of application. However, it was retrospective, but I think it was dealing with damage, it was dealing with an emergency, so I can't see that we should have any comments, material comments in terms of the application apart from supporting it.
I think the comment was the process.
Yes.
Having to go through that process for something that is necessary, preserves the building, they're doing the right thing, and to my mind, and having experienced it close in, it's almost a punishment.
Do you have a proposer for that then?
I'm happy to propose that we support it.
Sorry, who was the second? Oh, sorry, Councillor.
All in favour of the proposal? Yeah, so support it. Okay. Item C. Planning application reference 25/00156, proposal erection of 2 metre boundary fence, retrospective, location Skell Morley, Wendover Road, Sandwich, CT 300BH. I remember that when it was all open, we could walk from this railway station straight through Winsborough Road. But the only thing that worries me about this is there used to be a gate there, field gate, and there's quite an important drainage ditch on this property, which affects Fordwich Place. So I'm worried that they haven't allowed a gate in, because if they ever want to do that big ditch between Fordwich Place and the railway line, they're going to have to get equipment in there. So, okay, Councillor.
There is a gate in the fence,
Oh, is
I
that?
think. But I mean, I'm not keen on retrospective applications generally, and it has changed the whole appearance of that stretch.
Yeah.
You used to be able to look out over there and see the little stream and the trees.
Willow trees.
It was a nice vista, and now suddenly that's all blocked off. So it has changed the streetscape in that part of town. So I'm not very happy with what's been done, and they built a new house there, oak framed house. They must surely have known what the planning system is and how it works, and why they would have put this fence up without seeking planning advice, I don't know.
Perhaps they thought get away with it because it's the height, and they just get the planning level. If it had been a little bit shorter, they wouldn't have needed planning level. So.
Yes, well, I would like to reinforce what Councillor Wiles has said. I've had a look at this fence. It is a high fence, and it's higher than if you're on the road looking towards the fence. It's higher than the fence on the left. It is about the same height as the fence on the right, but that fence is a very short fence enclosing a gas installation, and presumably there has to be a high fence there for safety reasons. And I think the fact that it's a retrospective planning application is unfortunate. And the argument that it's really a service to the community and an improvement to the environment, I think that's not convincing. And also the main property is of course set well back from the road, so it's not as though this fence is necessary in order to give privacy to the people in the house.
Councillor Murray?
Yeah, as I agree with Councillor Wells, I hate retrospective applications. My opinion would be to make for the council to make their comment because it's not been because it's a retrospective. It's already been done. So that would be my opinion.
It supports a street scene, though, isn't it?
There's a couple of comments there as well about privacy. I'm not sure who those comments are from, whether it's the residents of the building or residents opposite, but the building is at least 30 or more metres from the pavement. I can't see there's any issue of privacy or overlooking from the pavement. So I think that's a spurious argument. I'd be inclined to object to it.
Yes, I'd be inclined to object on the basis, A, that it's quite intrusive in terms of its surroundings, B, that it's retrospective. I think it's a completely unnecessary friend.
So we can, in terms of material considerations, we can object in terms of the appearance and its impact on the surrounding area, but we can't on retrospection. Whilst we might all find it very galling, retrospective applications should be treated exactly the same as ones in advance, and we just have to swallow.
Just what Councillor Marie said, no comment.
But I think we've gone a bit further. We're saying that the appearance isn't in keeping with the surrounding. I mean, for me, it's slightly stretched to say that, to be honest, because we're talking about a stretch of fencing, but I'm happy to support an objection, but it's marginal for me.
Yeah.
Because it has been done.
Yeah. Suppose if we object to this then, what's going to be the street scene or
I
visual
propose
impact?
we object on the basis of
Retrospective.
fundamental change to the street scene and the vista.
Yes.
That's,
Plus it sets a precedent.
So we've got a proposal, we object to this.
Do you have a second?
Yeah, I think Councillor Penny did.
yes, I think it did, yes.
Did I?
Yeah,
You started the ball rolling.
Yeah, so give me an animus.
Councillor,
But Councillor Murray, you've got.
I can second that.
Oh, we know it's not. Okay then.
Okay.
Do you want to vote?
Yeah, then vote.
Green to object.
Green, yes.
Item D, planning application reference 25/00068, proposed internal alteration to provide a kitchenette and toilet pod within the nave and the relocation of some pews, extension of comment granted by Dover District Council, new deadline 11th of the 2nd, 25. Location of St Bartholomew's Chapel, Dover Road, Sandwich 0BP. So we had this last time, didn't we? But I think they've had quite a lot of people up there. The Heritage Office has been up there, and so they've all approved the design. So it's just, and I think this was the. So anyway, we've got to decide whether we agree with it or not.
So for me, due to the historic nature of the building, I'm not convinced that I can support it, and I won't support it. The argument isn't there for me. In terms of DDC, there is actually communication between themselves and KCC now lodged on the portal that raises requirements around the archaeological impact of the work. So there are. It hasn't got through completely as a clean path. So there is work that still needs to be done in terms of the application itself.
Yeah, firstly, I was pleased to say that action was taken on our comments and that the DDC did go back to the applicant for more details. So they did make an effort to meet our concerns. I felt it was just a baby step in terms of what was perhaps needed, but I still feel that, you know, they have visitors, they want to provide a toilet, it seems to be perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, my view is it's a working building, things change.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but I will abstain on this because
So So Councillor Pearson, do you propose any alterations? You proposing the plan?
I haven't proposed anything.
No,
so
so are you?
what do you want to do?
Anyone favour it, that's
I noticed that Councillor Carter isn't here, so
No.
I can relax on that.
Well, I'll propose it, see what happens. I talked to the trustees, and they're saying about the toilet, the disabled toilet, the kitchen area. I know they do fundraising up there. I've been up there with the for the cancer research, and they do it quite. And they do need. At the moment, they have the no facilities, so they have to use out someone's house, carry all the water over, the hot boiling water for the kettles and the coffees. So this little kitchen area would be quite good.
Yes, I'm happy to support it, on condition that when they lay a waste pipe and a water pipe, that they do proper archaeological.
Well, that will be a requirement according to.
Chair, thank you. I had the same conversation with the trustees of the Centre United Charities at Lunsford Park, so, and I'm happy with what they've told me, so I'm happy to second that.
I think Councillor Fortescue
Oh,
got
okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, can we have a vote on that then, please? Who's in favour of it? We've got.
Accept.
What is it for? Against. Two objections, and that's passed, isn't it?
sorry, 2 abstentions, 1.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chair, could we add a kind of codicil to that decision that we would like to ensure confirmation that the heritage officer is happy with the proposed work,
Yeah,
as well as the condition of the archaeological.
Yeah.
I have spoken also with the heritage officer, and she's very much involved in the
Very
process.
involved with it.
We had any written confirmation of that?
Yes.
There is a reference in the heritage statement, but I've not seen any written proof that they're in favour.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't confirming that they refer,
No.
that their heritage is heavily involved.
Okay.
Yes, well, I mean, that won't happen until it's taken, if
Yeah.
it's taken to
I
the
think it gets
DDC Planning
decided at the end of
Committee
this week.
report.
Yeah, because they keep updating. I mean, years ago, the gutters of downpipe, they just went out in the road, and then they decided to put soakaways in. We guess what? Years ago, they didn't worry about this, but they did find a few bones, but they put them back in after they put the soakaway. Because that whole area, I think, is so old, it's full of bones. Anyway, thank you for that. Item 6, withdrawn application. To receive and note the withdrawal of planning application, please none to consider at the time of issuing this agenda. Okay. Item 7, planning decisions. To receive and note latest decisions taken by Dover District Council on new planning applications. Not reading that. Is there any comments on that one?
I was just going to make a comment that the schoolhouse nursery, which is something we did object to as a committee, permission was refused.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, I'm happy to propose that we note these.
Yeah, accept that.
Yeah, one second for the note.
Just note it.
Yeah, just noting. Okay. Yes, I can.
I think it's okay if you've all voted
Oh,
that you're in
okay.
agreement that because it's a receive and note.
Okay. Item 8, street furniture application. To receive and consider any application made to DDC in relation to a street furniture consent application under Local Government Miscellaneous Provision Act 1982. Local Government Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1982, street furniture consent. Please note none to consider at the time of issuing this agenda. Okay. 9, licensing. To consider and note any licensing application or notices for sounding. Please note none to consider at the time of issuing this agenda. 10, enforcement. To consider any enforcement notices and issues received from Dover District Council. Please note none to consider at the time of issuing this agenda. 11, correspondence. To receive and consider correspondence related to planning matters, including notification of appeals against refusal of planning application from Kent County Council, date February 2025. Details, Kent Mineral and Waste Local Plan 2024 to 39. After submission for independent examination and public hearing held, the appointed planning inspector, Joanne Burston, Bachelor of Science MA, MRPT, AR, has issued her report, inspector report for MW Okay.
It was just for information.
Yeah, to note that.
Yeah, from the National Grid. So, that's attachment 2 for the National Grid, date February 2025, detailed Sea-Link project, newsletter on the Sea-Link project, giving an update on the project and its timeline. Sea-Link about the project, National Grid Group. That's right.
Yeah, it was just a note.
Yeah, just that. Okay. Item 12, verbal update by Dover District Councils on matters relating to planning.
I haven't had anything to pass on.
Can I request that the DDC councillors or councillor, whoever the tech wants to, puts in a report in writing if they ain't going to do a verbal one, please?
Thank you. Item 13, date of next planning committee meeting, 14th of April 2025. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you.
20 minutes, Jeff, again. Good. Getting good.
We tried to beat the curfew bell at 8 o'clock, didn't we?